Hello, good evening, and welcome to the FB4 podcast for this Sunday night. As you can see, there's only three of us. One of us has had to drop out with extreme food poisoning. I have Grizz and I have Keith with me. The lineup for tonight, we're going to talk Burnley. We're going to talk the top four, relegation. We're going to go back to Burnley and some of the things that happened in there. I want to talk Curtis Jones, and then we're going to have a sing song, and then we're going to. Then we're going to do a random question at the end, but it is football related, so the lads will be all right. It's not one of the mad off the wall random questions that we usually have. Loads of people in the chat tonight already. I can see Avo, Stephen O'Connor, Chris Brack, Joe Robinson, Barry Carr is there. Avo, did I say Avo already? I probably did. There's loads of people there, and you're all very welcome. If you're on YouTube, please share, hit like, subscribe, do all that stuff. We've passed 2,000 subscribers, and because of that, Grizz is going to sing the fairy tale in New York later, and I don't know what we're going to do when we pass 3,000. Anything could happen. But listen, where we'll start, where we always start, and it's Liverpool against Burnley. A 1-1 draw at Anfield yesterday afternoon, and straight away I want to start off where we always start, and it's at the beginning. Grizz, I'm going to come to you first. I wasn't surprised Nico Williams played. I was a little surprised Curtis Jones played, and everything else looked fine by me. What were your thoughts when you seen the lineup?
I was again pleasantly surprised. Pleasantly surprised to see Nico Williams get a goal in his right position. Curtis Jones instead of I was expecting Naby.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a bit of a surprise as well. But again, great faith shown in his youngsters, the kids that he believes in. But yeah, again, I wanted Minamino just to play. Even if he plays crap, Gav, I don't care. Just play. Just get used to Liverpool, the forwards, the way we play, everything. But that's just me, not knowing the intricacies of coaches and how they operate, and they have their separate plans. So as a fan, I just wanted him to play and sort of just see Minamino. What's this kid? How's this kid going to set up in our team? But apart from that, pretty much expected, wasn't it? Those two changes were slightly. Trent, the rotational fullbacks, we often do that during the season as well, where one of the fullbacks gets rested and then the other one gets rested. So yeah, as I said, everything bar the Hendo injury going like a pre-season should really.
Yeah, Keith. On the preview show, I thought we would play with Nico Williams at right back because, as Grizz said there, he gave him a go at left back away to Brighton, and I thought he just rested the other full back again. Yeah. And Nico Williams looks like he may be the backup for right or left back going forward, if that's what Klopp wants to do. I was surprised. I thought Fabinho would play. I thought Wijnaldum would play, and then it was a case of possibly Oxlade-Chamberlain or Keita, but he went with Curtis Jones, and again, a little bit surprising, but then again, he signs the contract and you're thinking he's going to give him a run somewhere. But the team was fine, wasn't it? Absolutely not a bother.
Yeah, and we're at a stage now where there's very few players that'll go into the team that will weaken us. Or we know people have their issues with when Degsy plays or whatever. People are going mad. If Lallana was to go, I know he won't be playing anymore, but when he'd get in, people are going mad. But if you're throwing in a Nico Williams and a Curtis Jones, it's good, it's exciting to see them. Now, I didn't think Jones would have played. I might have actually predicted that he would, but when you play, look at the fixtures that are left, right? So Burnley at home, and then you've got Arsenal away, Chelsea home, Newcastle away. Like, where can you give them the games? Where can you put them in if it's not the Burnley game at home? Even though Burnley are a big physical side, I thought the team was fine. When I seen it, I was excited by it to see them getting a run out. Nico at right back and Curtis in the middle. So yeah, it was fine. Like Grizz now, I thought Naby would be playing. I thought it'd be Fabinho, Wijnaldum and Naby. But happy enough to see Curtis getting a run.
Yeah, and listen, the game starts and progresses as we thought it would. Burnley sitting back deep, trying to use their physicality up front when they could with Chris Wood and Jay Rodriguez. They get a couple of corners, they get a couple of free kicks, more down to where kind of, I suppose, just us being off it a little bit and concentration dropping slightly. And I just thought they were some silly free kicks we gave away, and the corners fair enough, and they tried to pin Alisson to his line and stuff like that, and that's allowed. But just sticking on Curtis Jones because, Salah just looks like a man on a mission to score goals, and that's going to affect how he plays with the rest of them. For me, Mane looked bright, and he was looking to get stuff going. Fabinho, Wijnaldum were perfect for Curtis Jones there, but Curtis Jones seemed to drift around the pitch an awful lot, Grizz. Like you'd see him in nearly the left back position, the right back position. He was literally given the freedom of Anfield yesterday to do what he could do, and I thought he done it really well.
I enjoyed him. I really enjoyed his performance. Some listeners and viewers might go mad here, but he reminded me of Lallana when he first joined.
Okay.
A lot of neat touches, a lot of good technique, a lot of endeavour, popping up here, popping up there. But unfortunately, just lacking that killer touch. But that's not to just solely blame the performance, the lack of goals on him. As we know, and we probably discussed, all the front three had a bad day, basically. But I thought Firmino and Mane looked busy. We'll get on to the because I thought we were quite wasteful, but you're saying the final touch and stuff from Curtis Jones and others. You have to give Curtis Jones, despite his young age, but you have to give him the benefit of the doubt as well with some of the stuff, in front of goal. He could have had one or two, but you have to give him the benefit of the doubt, Grizz, because if that's a seasoned professional coming in for his first game in God knows how long, you're kind of going, brilliant to see him back, played really well, and that extra 5% will appear over the coming weeks. Jones is doing that as a really, really young guy. Oh, no, absolutely. And the best thing of it all for me was it looked like he knew he belonged there now. He didn't look like a kid trying to impress, as he has done sometimes, and that's absolutely natural as well. He played with a bit of maturity, popping off the ball, playing 1-2s. I thought his understanding with Bobby was very, very encouraging. I thought the link up, the interlinking play, sort of the given goals with Bobby was very, very positive. He just looked like a guy who's signed a new contract and knows that he's got a long-term future with this great coach of ours, and he played so. As I said, very busy, very technical. Good manipulator of the football. Obviously he will learn when to release, when not to release. The more he plays, he'll get all that. That's fine. But it was great to see him sort of feel part of the team. I liked his, as you said, though, but it was crucial that Ginny and Fabinho were with him to give him that proper strong platform, steady platform to go ahead and show us what he's made of. And you've got to remember, we played Burnley that had nothing to play for, but they played like they play every single game, and that was very physically, sort of very physical in your faces, low block, physical defend centre backs, midfielders snapping away at you. So I think it was a brilliant test for the kids, and I thought they'd done very well, especially in that first half. I thought we were sensational, to be honest with you.
There's a super chat in here for $19.99, right, from MB, and it says, "Where's Marty? #sign Roos, #Grizz for ITK of the year." Whoever MB is was obviously watching the interaction we had on Twitter about an hour ago, where a guy called Marty gets very upset over Grizz, and indeed Andy Young for some reason. But the super chats, I don't even think there's a way of me stopping these now, is there? Like, it's like I just keep saying it and no one's listening to me. And to be honest, I don't even know where the money goes. I don't even know how we get it. I don't know how we access it. I don't know. Because someone said to me, you must have like 50 quid in super chats. I can't find the stuff. I don't know where it goes. It must go down a hole somewhere. But thanks, MB, for the super chat. I'm trying my best to stop them, but these pricks that are watching just don't listen. And I say that in the nicest possible way because we feel like we know a lot of them now. But you're right in what you're saying, Grizz. And Will O'Moran says there, it still looks like we're playing with a bit of a hangover. I thought that was only going to last a game or two. It's just as well we have the title wrapped up. Keith, I'm going to be honest with you. And a half time I had BT on, and I don't usually watch any coverage before, during, or after the game. I was literally watching the game, and a half time I said, like, well, I was doing a bit of work in the back garden, and I came back in, and they were saying, oh, that's typical Liverpool first half and all. I'm going to be honest with you. I thought we were neat and tidy. I thought we didn't look like we were going to give a goal away for the vast majority of that first half. But I don't think we played as well as people. I don't think we played as well as people make out in that first half. I thought some of the chances that came away were from kind of, percentage balls in the box that happened to drop in around Salah and stuff like that. And then Nick Pope was just, Dino's off for 45 minutes. Did you think we played really, really well?
I thought we played well, but yeah, not sensational. It wasn't the case that even though we had all the ball, we had all the possession, we were having shots. Nick Pope is pulling saves out of his arse left, right and centre.
Good goalkeeper.
He is a good goalkeeper. He's a very good goalkeeper, very underrated. And when you consider that Yahoo was the England #1, long may that last if they're ignoring a player of the calibre of Pope. But he had a great game. Now, I thought we were good without being sensational. I didn't agree with we were great. I thought we were good. I thought it was I was happy with the performance, thinking, right, the goals will come, and as this game goes on, we'll get a few goals. But, it didn't work out that way. Now, touching on what you were saying about Curtis Jones there, I just want to say the thing I like about Curtis Jones is the confidence that he has on the ball, and the fact that, as you said, he was given the freedom and he was picked. He was popping up in the left full position. He was popping up here, there, and everywhere. And what that says is he's a highly confident, a high confidence player, and everything else will come with that. If you're not afraid to try things, you know what I mean. You'll start doing it, and it'll start coming off for him. If you look at players like Maddison and all that, they're confidence players looking at these through balls. He could be that type of player for us, which would be great. Now, if you think of the likes of Mason Greenwood is the flavour of the month at the moment, he gradually had to build his way into the level that he is now. He didn't just, even though he was highly rated in the youth teams at United, his first few games, weren't perfect, but he got there by getting games, and Jones will get there by getting games for us. It's the only way players can develop. Do you know what I mean? Is by playing. So I was happy with his performance in general. I thought he was getting it about, moving it, and trying to make things happen. But I just think the team itself, unfortunately, when Salah doesn't have a great game and he's chasing the records, and look, he's going to be chasing goals. You can't blame him. It can affect how lethal we can be. If he's wasteful with his shots. And if I thought Mane was good, I thought Bobby was good, I thought Matt was a little bit awful, but I thought we were good in the first half without being sensational. A long way of getting to that point, yeah. Good without being sensational.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I maybe sort of got carried away with sensational. I think sensational would have been...
You think?
No, let me give it context. I think sensational would have been very apt if we put away half of our chances that we created.
Yeah.
So that makes it a very good performance in that first half. Because, as I said, Burnley didn't play that as an end of season sort of just a stroll in the park.
I thought they were
very snappy and physical.
I thought they were very passive, Burnley. I'm being honest with you. Like, I'm used to Burnley coming out, and they are physical. They work very hard. They get up to the front men who hold onto the ball, and they try build from there, and they will try to get free kicks, and they will try to get corners. And it happened a couple of times. But I even felt defensively wise, they're quite passive. And we seem to be going around, not through the motions. I wouldn't go that far, because through the motions makes it look very sloppy. I thought we were neat and tidy, and we just never really bothered to click into an extra gear and put them away, because they were there to be put away, Grizz.
I think we made them passive. I thought we were very... I thought we were very good. I thought we played that like we played the majority of our games at Anfield.
I just mean they weren't aggressive in anything they were doing. Like, usually their forwards are aggressive.
The thing is, Gav, they've come up against Van Dijk and Gomez, or more focused Gomez. That was one of Gomez's better performances. He's been a bit iffy since the restart, but he was back to his best there. So therefore, their forwards were deemed or looked passive. Your words. The reason why was because we were manhandling them. Every time they tried to play that tactic of getting to the front man, where he shields it so well that the least he gets is a free kick out of it. But they weren't able to do that because we were very clever. We were very strong. Van Dijk and Gomez absolutely manhandled them with Fabinho and Gini just in front as well. So I thought we made them look passive. I think we had them penned in. look, Burnley, you're right. Burnley's outball is always look, credit to them, they always play two front men. So they've got a couple of big targets there, but we just didn't let them out. And I thought that was down to our intensity. As I said, if we put even 3 of those chances away, you're looking at 4-0 at half-time. And then sensational is the apt word. But we were very good, bar the finishing. And look, the Mo Salah scenario, I know we've touched on it, but it's a bit tricky, man. You know, how can we criticize one of the greatest forwards, in my opinion, that's going to grace the Premiership by the time he's left? But there's no doubt, there's absolute no doubt that his thirst and his passion for that golden boot did affect him. And then as a result, the rest of his teammates, in my opinion.
Yeah. Half-time comes, Liverpool are 1-0 up. I think Pope makes another brilliant save just on half-time as well. It might have been from Mane, I think. Was it Mane? He stretches for one, and literally the half-time whistle goes.
Yeah.
But Keith, the second half starts, and Liverpool, much the same. They're out, they're on top. And I'm being honest with you, right up until that drinks break where we make a sub, we should have had 3 or 4, Keith. You know, Firmino hits the post. Jones has a chance. There's a couple of things dropping the box and they're not quite right. Nico Williams is right in the box trying to do stuff.
Yeah.
And when it didn't seem to come, we seemed to get a little bit lax. And I mean that in a sense that even around the box we were half doing stuff. And Firmino at one stage must have had about 14 touches in their box without anybody going near him, and then he lost it. Was it just a case of, we're not going to score another one, but we're not going to concede? Do you think that was the sort of thing that happened?
Yeah.
Or was it just, we kept the level up and they just sucker punched us a bit?
Yeah, it may be a bit of both, to be honest, Gav, because I think, despite what I say this on every show now, the intensity has dropped, and we can't expect them to have that intensity, despite, Klopp can say it to them all the time, look, get the intensity going. The likes of Nico will run and harass because he's trying to make an impression, and Curtis Jones and that, but, the other guys have put a lot in, and the level just maybe even 5% off can have a big impact on the likes of that. But as Sean, you said in the chat there a minute ago, we could have comfortably been up, if Bobby doesn't hit the post, if there's chances, as you say, Pope's making saves all over the place. We could have gone into that half. If we'd gone in there 3-0 up, it's a different kettle. I know that's a stupid statement because obviously it's a different game if you go in there 3-0 up. But if we'd gone in 3-0 up, no one would have been saying, oh, they were lucky to be 3-0 up, that way. So you have a player like Pope on form and he kept us out. And then we can call it the sucker punch. Virgil wasn't great on the goal. But, it's another thing. The VAR doing us favours again. They're getting called for an offside that they get the free kick from, which wasn't offside, and then just being asleep on the free kick. It is what it is. It's just a sucker punch, and I know they didn't look like doing anything else. I know they hit the bar, but I wasn't worried that we'd have lost the game.
It was like our approach to the game, as I felt it changed as the game went on, changed their outlook on it. Do you know what I mean? Like Sean Dyche said, we came with a plan. Come here and I fucking tell you, Sean Dyche, your plan didn't work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Only was your plan to go and sit back and give away 4 or 5 really good chances and hope to God your keeper saved them? Because if that's your plan, I don't know what you're doing being a Premier League manager.
Yeah.
He said his plan was to stay in it. His plan wasn't work. He stayed in it because his goalkeeper is excellent. If his goalkeeper is an inch away or just, half, if he doesn't move his feet half a step on 1 or 2 occasions, they're 3 or 4-0 down at half time and the plan doesn't work. But Grizz, I want to come back to you because the drinks break comes and I thought it was strange. They wanted to make the substitution, the double substitution, which was Keita and Trent for Curtis Jones and Nico Williams, right? And I thought, fair enough, they're 2 young lads. They've had whatever it is, 60 odd minutes or 65 minutes. I've no problem with it. They're both playing well, but you need to look after these lads. But I thought it was a bit naive of what we done, Grizz, because look, we know from football, and even if you go like Keith, Gar, they all teach kids football, and one of the biggest rules is you never make a change at a corner. Yeah. And we done that. We more or less done that because they had a free kick, 15 yards inside their own half that they were always going to put in the box, and we're making a change. But now, listen, Antico says it's a glorified pre-season. I get that, but I still have to look at the game as a panned out. I'm in no way bothered by results and points totals and stuff like that. I couldn't be arsed. I've said it from the season's begin. Once we win the league, I don't care how it's done. But Grizz, that sort of stuff, for me, puts the wrong outlook onto the pitch when you see, we'll just make a change during the drinks break. And, there was clearly confusion there over the free kick and how he set up for it.
Well, it shouldn't have been a free kick, as later transpired. It was offside. Sorry, it was given offside for one of our forwards when it wasn't offside. So that's the main thing. And with regards to substituting it's difficult to criticize our coach and their ideas, but as it was Dicko who just said, there you go, glorified pre-season. I mean, that's it's the kind of thing you do in a pre-season. Make changes sort of at odd times or regardless of what the situation is on the pitch. So you're right, it doesn't give the right sort of it doesn't show us in the right picture in terms of we're actually going for this record, or maybe it's true, maybe he doesn't care about these records and points, and maybe as I've suggested, that maybe his aim is just to be ready for day one. As far as he's concerned, the title is done. I don't give a shit about caps and points and golden boots. Well, he does, because he didn't bring he didn't sort of say anything to Salah. It didn't seem like he said anything to Salah in terms of, add more variety to your play, Mo, as opposed to cutting in and taking a shot every time. So, look, the whole approach, I think, I've said it, and I truly believe it now, by the way he's treated these last couple of games, that his whole aim and his sole aim is to be ready for that first game of the season, and he's treating these last 2-3 games as a glorified, extended pre-season. And that's the way it is. And we have to accept that's the way forward. As much as we want records, as much we want to be sort of remembered to reach the top, that 100 points, the guy is probably meaning what he says when he says, I don't give a shit. I just want us to win next season, be ready for next season. It's frustrating at times. We want to see more.
There is people that want to see us win every game, and
that's fair.
104 or 102 points. I think it's 102 was the max we can get now, wasn't it? Yeah. Is it 102?
It was 104, and then we got to.
What have we got left? We've 3 games left, have we?
3 games left, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. 90. What we got? 93, and okay. But Keith, just to stay on this for a second, because we were having this chat in the WhatsApp group about, after the game, our WhatsApp group were kind of, grand. Most of us were like, that happens. You're playing Nico Williams, you're playing Curtis Jones, you are quite wasteful in front of goal. There's extra touches being taken when they don't need to be. A bit lax for the free kick and the goal. It got a bit ropey here and there as well, and it just seemed the levels drop. But Keith, let's be honest about it. All things being equal, regardless of what you want, what you don't want, what you expect, or what you see in the future, with regards to what Grizz said with, day one of next season, Liverpool have won a title with 7 games to go. Yeah. And I'm being honest with you, if I'm in work and I have a target, right, and I complete my target, with 20% of a season left, or 20% of my work week left, that 20% is going to be, the production is going to radically drop. Now, I know that's not a perfect comparison.
No, it is.
They haven't got anything pushing them. They can push themselves for 3 or 4 of those games, like Chelsea and Arsenal might be 2 of those. Palace was most definitely one. Brighton was all right, but they've lost to Man City, they've drew with Everton, they drew with Burnley, right? But it's so hard to even keep that sort of intensity going when you know the job is done. I think it's very, very difficult.
Yeah, it exactly is. And it's, we all think it'd be great to get that points total, but that's only so you can lash fans over on Twitter and all these things and sort of hold it over them. And I know Grizz will be holding it over Bilby if you get to beat the Man City points
But again,
thing,
you're right. That's just a personal. You're right. That's just
yeah,
personal.
but that's what it is now. Don't get me wrong. I'd say Klopp
Yeah, but
would
you see,
like to get the record, but he's not focusing on it. If it happens, it happens.
Yeah,
it's secondary.
Yeah, but the thing is, right, you're talking about Grizz and this chap Boovy from 90 Minutes, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you see, that's the thing. I don't know why Liverpool fans are looking at this and reacting to this, because this is just another excuse other fans are using. Oh, well, we done 100 points. I don't give a fuck what you done.
Yeah,
do you get extra bleeding points somewhere? Yeah. Does the amount of league titles, do you get 2 because you done that? No, you don't. It's a mad one for me.
Yeah, but Gav, the frustrating and the infuriating part of this season has been not other fans, for me anyway, not other fans and not other people's opinions, but our own fans' opinions and our own fans' expectations and short memories, etc., etc. We've played probably as close as you can get to 2 perfect seasons of football. At the pace and intensity a Jurgen Klopp demands and expects.
But I promise you, Grizz, if we are 9 points clear going on to that break instead of 25, I can guarantee Liverpool do 102 points plus. 100%. And I don't care if there's nobody in the ground.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I totally understand where you're coming from. But, there's been so much rubbish and noise coming this week out. Well, it's a bit of a whimper. We've won it with a bit of a whimper. And I don't understand where it's coming from and the logic and rationale behind it. I think, and it just basically comes down to what we said. It's like personal egos. Our own egos aren't satisfied, and therefore we're taking out on this superhuman, near perfect team for 2 years. For fuck's sake, give it a break. Give them a break. Give Jurgen Klopp a break. They mentally and physically have gone through the mill for you for 2 years to produce what is now one of the greatest teams the Premiership's ever seen, the Premier League, the greatest Liverpool team that's ever this club has ever sort of seen and been proud of. Think about that. But people have forgotten all that, and now it's just first we wanted to get Invincibles, we didn't get that. I mean, the bar that we're setting ourselves is amazing, and fair play to Jurgen Klopp and his players for setting that bar so high. But some of these fans really need to sort of just humble themselves a little bit, in my opinion.
There's enough people out there, right, that'll try and discredit Liverpool outside the Liverpool fan base without our own fans doing it. Like, you see players or fans on other fan media shows, and they're talking about, Liverpool done this, but when we won the league, we were getting deep in cup competitions and all that. Couldn't give a shit what they own. This team weren't getting anywhere in the Champions League. Like, Liverpool are competing at the top end, and just because we didn't get anywhere in the Champions League this season, we got beaten by Atletico Madrid. Now, I'd put my life down that Atletico Madrid would beat most teams in the Premier League in the Champions League, and it's no shame to be knocked out by a team like that. Do you know what I mean? A tough team.
After being battered, let's not again give it context. After being battered for 90 minutes.
Yeah. Exactly. It's actually we are the Atletico Madrid of Lancashire, and they play 4-4-2, and Sean Dyche went with a master plan of his keeper having a worldie. It's the same one that played in Simeone went with in the Atletico game.
Morbid Angel says that Terry from the Football Terrace is a reactionary, provocateur and baiter. Listen, Terry must have bought himself a new fishing rod. It was pointed out to him yesterday by our main account that he must be on a fishing expedition. He absolutely is. And listen, I wouldn't get too upset over it, because Man United have been baited for a couple of years now, and they've turned it around with 5 wins or 6 wins in a row against bottom half sides. And if they want to go on about that business, go about it and tell the world that you're brilliant. But Terry's a nice fella, but I think he's getting way too many people on the hook. Archibald Azar says we need to buy. This is starting to look like Klopp's final season at Dortmund. He, as in Klopp, needs to tell FSG that he needs signing. 2 years without significant signing is self-destruction. I'd be very interested as to how you have a comparison with Liverpool doing 93 points with 3 games to go as a comparison with the final season at Dortmund. I think you're way off the mark there, but that's your opinion. But I think you're absolutely way off the mark.
Very entitled to that opinion.
If we started next season the way Dortmund started their final season under Klopp, where I believe at the time a fair few injuries and things weren't going well, then you might have an argument to come back. But sitting on 93 with 3 to go, no, I can't go along with that. But I've put that up on the screen because you're absolutely entitled to that opinion.
100%.
Lads, Burnley get the equaliser and fair play. It's a good finish by Jay Rodriguez.
Yeah.
But again, we're a little bit lax. And as the game goes on, there's one other big talking point. And you know what? I wasn't too bothered over it. I think it could go either way, that decision on Robertson. I think that guy gets a small touch on the ball and follows through and hits Robertson. You could argue that the follow through stops Robertson from getting onto the ball.
That's the key.
You could go either way on it, right? But I wasn't too bothered. What bothered me afterwards was, and again, I don't know how I caught myself fucking sitting in the sitting room with fucking BT on, and Rio Ferdinand had the gall to turn around and say, well, in fairness, the penalty, it would have been tough on Burnley if they didn't get a point. And I thought to myself, no, hold on. You can't be doing stuff like this. Grizz, first of all, the analysis nowadays is appalling. And it just gets worse. Yeah. And the second thing is it a penalty for you, Grizz?
It's a tough one. It's mad. We can't even decide if it's a penalty like after seeing it for 100 times and like days later. I think he gets a slight touch of the ball, but it's not enough to it wouldn't be enough to stop Robbo getting onto it if he didn't bring him down with a trailing leg. So I don't know.
It's a penalty.
To your answer, I would have given it. I'm trying to be neutral. In terms of the punditry and the Rio and the BT Sports, look, we already know the best place for analysis is on the Daytrippers, so you don't need to be sort of watching.
Worrying yourselves with that, carry on.
Yeah. Don't worry about all that. Just switch on to our analysis, and
we may have we may have a solution to that for next season for you as well. But more to come on that in the couple of weeks.
Amazing, but I don't let myself get worked up anymore in terms of how the media are operating towards us. For the very fact that we're on top of the perch and they're going to do anything to knock us off in terms of sort of trying to belittle our opponents and anything, underplaying what we've done. Let them. It doesn't matter. I don't agree with sort of getting worked up on every comment and every sort of angle they come out with. I mean, any real football man, you don't even need to be a real football man like me. You can be a normal football man and notice
a mere mortal
football man can tell you that we battered the shit out of them. And if you think they deserved a point, you're a numpty. And we know Rio's a numpty because he's sort of decided. Do you remember his famous meme about sort of going around about Ollie's back at the wall? Yeah, they've beaten the 15th place team.
I think he's a bit I think he's a bit hesitant to say that again on what the current one United are on.
No, he said it. So they've beaten the 15th place team, the 18th place team, 19th place team. They beat Norwich in extra time. Who had 10 men.
They've had 18 penalties this season.
They are 19 penalties this season. And he's had the audacity and fair play to him. He's funny again. He's got his fishing rod out. He said, he's done a picture on the phone. Ole's back.
Yeah, but Grizz, I have to stop you there, right? Because Santiago says it's no analysis at all. It's just creating controversy for higher ratings.
And that's
it's shocking and disappointing. Now, if that's the truth, that's wrong, right? There isn't people out there paying upwards or over £100 a month for Sky and BT for some fella to come on and be well paid to stoke a fire.
Yeah.
Right? Just to fucking cause controversy amongst the fan base. You're there to analyse a game. That's what you're there for. Right? If you want someone to fucking whip up a storm and talk shite, go and get Mark Goldbridge at full time and let him say something about it, and then that can store it up for you if you want to be BT or not. But you can't be asking, you can't expect to pay that money for BT Sport or Sky or anybody to put people on there and go, listen, we don't really care about your opinion on the game, we just want you to say something that'll cause a bit of controversy. The argument I'd have over the penalty is, and you could argue that he gets a touch, but my argument against it would be, and I think I even heard in the commentary, oh, well, like the fella's only on the pitch. And I thought, well, what's that fucking got to do with anything? If I fucking have to decapitate someone a minute into the game, is it okay because they're only on the pitch? Makes no sense, right?
That's a good point, Gav, before you go on, because that was always the old rule. You get one for free when you just get on the pitch. It's the same as, you got a nick on the ball, but he got a nick on the ball It didn't take the ball away. He just put it into Robertson's path, and Robertson couldn't get onto the ball because he got sided down by the defender.
But this is my argument. If that guy takes a touch and puts it 3 yards ahead of himself and then makes no attempt to go to the ball and Robertson runs in and clatters into him, yeah, man, basically takes Robertson out while they're both on their feet, it's 100% a penalty. The fact that he goes down and gets a touch in it, it's the minimum of touch. It does look like a touch to me, a minimum touch. But it doesn't change the path of the ball as to where Robertson is going for it. No. So you could argue that. Apparently Rio has said, according to Chris Back, that United are back to challenge next season.
That's the media loving for them.
Well, you see, I've no issue if they want to be like that. I think they've a really good squad. I've been on record as saying that, but I would say one other thing. What United are doing now and what's being said about them reminds me a lot of what's being said about Liverpool over the last 15 years when you're looking to cling on to something. And that's happened for Liverpool over the last 15 years. You think, oh, this is going to be it, and people drum it up. I think you need a lot more evidence on United as to where they are, and that will probably be in the first 10, 15 games of next season. Grizz, he only used 3 of his 5 subs. Did you find that strange?
I did. I tweeted it and loads jumped on my case about, have a day off where, we've won the league, etc., which I said, okay, fair enough to, but I did think Jurgen Klopp, for whatever reason, again, trying to second guess our coach is mad. We have no idea into his great mind and thinking, but again, he didn't utilize the subs in terms of, like, there was Minamino still left, Origi, even Shaqiri. Maybe Shaqiri's fit enough for the bench. You'd like to think that he's got 10, 15 minutes in him, cutting, sort of bang one in the top corner. Shaqiri is very capable of doing. So that was slightly, what's the word, disappointing maybe, or frustrating, or thought-provoking. Like, why didn't he? I mean, I think, it was definitely to sort of keep Salah on the pitch. There was no way he was going to bring Salah off the pitch. B, could have been Bobby hasn't scored all season at home. This could be just a tonic for Bobby, if we get one. And C, Mane was the best attacker, I thought, out of the 3. So there you go. I've given you explanations into why he didn't take the front 3 off, but he could have shaken it up a little bit. There was nothing really to play for apart from the points record. So maybe he could have, for that reason, maybe he should have sort of changed it up a bit. I used the word, I thought he froze for the last 10 minutes. I thought he just switched off in terms of just let the game play out as it is, whatever. That was my personal opinion from what I was watching. He wasn't actively trying to do anything really. Just if we get a winner, we get a winner. Otherwise, as long as there's no injury. So, but can we blame him? No, not at all.
No.
Is there much discussion behind it? No. But yeah, I agree with you. I thought exactly, made the same observation. Yeah, same observation as you.
It was strange.
He's Keith, am I right in saying I think he's used his 5 subs in any game up until now?
Yeah, he always does like to use the subs. Now, I don't know, maybe he's probably done 4 or whatever in a game, but Grizz touched on it there. The front 3 weren't bad yesterday. Even though I said Salah was maybe, you could see that bit of grade in him. Like, he's still a threat, and he's going for that golden boot, so he's not going to take him off. Bobby, I thought, looked decent as well. And to get that goal at Anfield was right, leave him on. And then Sadio was the best of the lot. So he's taken off the other 2 midfield players, and he's still got Fabinho sitting in there. So he's not going to make a change with him. Like, who do you bring in? Shaqiri, Origi, Harvey Elliott, Minamino. Where do you put them? Do you know what I mean? Like, maybe it was just a case that, look, it's not, it's not going to improve us.
My only thinking is that if you look at Harvey Elliott, Minamino, Shaqiri, they're not the biggest physically. Yeah. And I think Burnley were trying to filter us out wide and nearly look for us to get the ball in the box. Yeah. I thought that was a tactic of theirs, and it is of other sides. We usually walk around it by getting her out wide, and Trent is just whipping ball after ball in, and then you get terrified and you try to change to something else. And maybe that was the reason. Having said that, he'd probably just look and go, listen, leave the 3 of them up there because they're playing again on Wednesday, and something might happen for one of them, especially Bobby Firmino, and you never know what goes on there. Owen Bourke says AFTV today after Spurs winner as comedy gold, defo worth to watch. I'm starting to think that them boys are scripted.
Yeah,
I'm going to be honest with you. There's 7 of them sitting in a room pretending to be social distancing. It looks like a big warehouse or something like that, and there's a couple of Arsenal things behind them, and they're literally staring into cameras and stuff like that when anything happens. It is a great viewing, but I'm starting to think it's a little bit scripted. I'm going to be honest with you. He doesn't make the subs, fine. But I'm going to have to ask you for a man of the match, lads, because I have a few bits to move on to. I have the top 4. I want to talk about the relegation. I want to have a little word on Jack Charlton. We have a song to sing and I have a random question to go. So we have a little bit to go and we're about 45 minutes in. But Grizz, give us your man of the match for today, please.
Yesterday, man of the match for me. Bloody hell. Who's man of the match, guys? I'll give it Curtis Jones. I thought it was a very good performance from the young lad. I'll give it Curtis Jones. I think he done enough.
Okay, all right. Keith?
Well, yeah, Mane was lively and I liked Fabinho. I think Fabinho's grown and grown, but I'd give it to Robertson because the goal was brilliant. The goal was brilliant and he was a threat and he looked to be sort of back to his best. He's run the drink out of him and he's back in there. So that's who I'd have given it to myself.
Okay. You're taking it back and you're giving it to...
Yeah, you're completely right. I thought that was one of the best. Listen, I'm going to go overboard again, but I mean it. I thought that was one of his best performances of the season. I thought he's back to his barnstorming best. I thought it was a lung burst. I was tired just watching him, as Jose Mourinho says. This guy is sensational. He saw there's no trend on the other side. He took it upon the responsibility to be the main wide attacking outlet, threat, defending. Brilliant. I thought it was absolutely...
The header was a beauty. Like, the goal was an absolute cracker.
I mean, you put our strikers to shame, to be honest with you, with a header like that. That was proper Andy Carroll-esque. Oh, yeah. Put a bit of curl on it. Do you remember when Ray Chan done the overhead kick and certain people...
And someone said, while he was in mid-air, he decided to put a bit of curl on it.
Curl on it, that's right. So it's very similar. Robbo decided to put a bit of curl on it with his neck as well. Amazing skill.
Yeah.
Amazing skill.
Joe Robinson has Robertson as his man of the match. Barry Carr has Fabinho. Santiago says Fabinho hands down. Mohammed says Fabinho. There's loads there. Kev O'Sullivan says Fabinho. And let me see. Yeah.
Fabinho, I thought Fabinho was brilliant. Yeah,
all these wrong opinions. No, but there's no doubt about Robbo. All these opinions are mad wrong. I mean, what's up with the crowd today? What's up with the audience today? Robbo was outstanding.
Fabinho, I thought was really good.
Great ball for the goal.
Great ball. That little chip ball, he loves it. And
coming his move, isn't it? His goal.
He measures them very well. I'm going to give it to Curtis Jones because Grizz took it off him, and I don't think that's right. Because what I
killed his confidence, that young lad.
I will say one thing about Curtis Jones, and I've made the point over the last couple of games when I've seen, especially Villa, where we've seen Keita and Chamberlain together, and it didn't work. But when you're seeing Keita with Henderson and Wijnaldum against Brighton, he was really, really good. Really good. Because he had two people there that took responsibility off him, but were more responsible in a team shape. So Keita could go and do what he could do. And I thought Curtis Jones done a very, very similar performance yesterday. I thought Keita was brilliant against Brighton. I didn't do the reaction show, but I think lads gave him a lot of praise, and I think it was very, very important they did. And I agreed with a lot of it while I was watching the show. And for me yesterday, Curtis Jones, as I said, he was popping up everywhere, but not only popping up everywhere, he was being productive in what he was doing. He knew when to play it simple. He knew when to take a touch. He knew when to release it. He was trying to get beyond Mane at times. He was trying to get beyond Salah. He was trying everything you would expect that midfielder to do. And instead of just staying in a number 8 position and looking to be on the half turn all the time, he was looking to come back. He was looking to move Burnley's midfield around. And for such a young guy in what would be a big game for him, after signing this contract, I have to say, for me, Curtis Jones was absolutely brilliant, and I think he deserves man of the match. Before we move on, if you're watching, please like, please share, please subscribe. It's all very important. It gets more people in here, and we get more opinions, and we have a good laugh. Let me see. Chris Brack says, "True gent Jack Charlton, legend for England and Ireland." if LFC board had stretched to 20k, he would have played for us under Shanks. I'm going to have a little chat about Jack Charlton before we finish. I think it's only right as an Irish podcast. I think it's only right. Lads, the top four. I wanted to say it's taking shape, but it most definitely isn't.
No.
Leicester have shit the bed.
Chelsea fucking stone them, aren't they?
Chelsea are trying their best. United are bashing. United are flat track bullying their way into the top four. Wolves are still hanging around there as well. But Grizz, not going to get mad into detail on this. I just want where we sit now with United have a game in hand that can go toward if they win it. But it would leave Chelsea, United and Leicester all within 2 points of each other. Leicester, of course, play United on the last day. And I think Chelsea have a decent one on the last day as well. Where do you see this going, third and fourth?
United have got it. United have got third. I think fourth is between Leicester and Chelsea. And I'd probably say... Well, we've got Chelsea second last game of the season, but you just can't see Leicester winning a game. I don't know when. I don't know who they've got. So they've got Man United. I don't know who the other two fixtures are.
I'll have a look for you now. But David Walsh says Rodgers is trying to be too clever with his formation changes. I think that's an absolutely brilliant point.
Yeah. Leicester have Sheffield United, Spurs, and Man United in their last 3 games.
Yeah, so that's
home to Sheffield United, away to Spurs, home to Manchester United.
Yeah, so they're not winning a game.
I think they're going. I think they could come sixth.
Yeah, I don't see them winning a game. I can see.
They're home to Sheffield United. I don't know about that.
They'll get a draw there. Sheffield United have got the wings back in their sail.
Yeah.
Well, United have Southampton at home, Palace away, West Ham at home, and Leicester away. I think they're absolutely nailed on for 9 points.
Yeah.
If they do 9 points, they're going to Leicester without
they're going to come
needing
to
anything.
third. Yeah, they're going to finish third.
So amongst the jokes and everything and banter and everything, fair play to them. He's done a good job. He's found a good mix, combination in midfield and everything, and they're pretty good to watch. They're playing some fantastic football. So yeah, it looks like they're going to get third. I think Chelsea are going to get fourth and Leicester fifth. I think Leicester, but again, it's one of those situations. And you asked this question: if we asked Leicester fans, would they want to finish fifth? Would they have taken fifth at the start of the season? Fucking hell, they would.
Yeah, of course they would. But listen, Grizz, coming off the break and they were like sitting
9
handy.
Points clear of fifth. Yeah, 9 points.
They were talking about catching City.
Yeah.
Well, they won. You see, this is it. But this is the hype from the media and everything. Look, you've got to always break it down.
No, what I mean by that is that they would have been looking upwards rather than behind them.
It's difficult. You can't look. No. You can't, as a Leicester City fan, even the most ardent Leicester City fan, can't be looking towards City and Liverpool. You've got to just try to consolidate your position.
No, yeah, I know. What I'm saying is coming back off the break with the reason I say Leicester would have been looking upwards and seeing a points total that they can go to rather than looking behind and worrying is that they would have had a Liverpool team that were more or less one game away from a title and could have switched off after it, and they had a Man City side that were looking going, we're never winning the league, and could have just shut down with Europe being the priority. That's why I'm saying Leicester could have looked up rather than
behind. They've only had one win since they came back.
Yeah.
What I will agree with is whoever made that point about Rodgers being clever with his formations, and I think again the reason for that is he wants to stand out. I mean, it is what it is with Rodgers. If he wins a game by sort of changing a formation, people will talk about it. Oh, it was this change of formation that Rodgers sort of instilled or put into the team, and as a result, we've got to, as a result of that formation change, we've got to win. So again, it was a bit of, I think, just he's trying to be clever and overcomplicating things. And look, he's going to end up fifth or sixth, maybe even, which is a disaster for them from where they were. But overall, it's been a fantastic season for them. Let's not get too carried away with the Leicester City bashing just because of our hatred for United and getting into those positions. We're frustrated because it's let United in. But if I was a Leicester fan and I finished fifth and sixth, wow! In this day and age, it's a fantastic achievement.
But I think
it's a good achievement.
Yeah, I think
the way it's happened, the manner of it, I get.
I think when you look at how bad Leicester have been, right? Just taking United for a second, when you look how bad Leicester have been, I think Chelsea have been bang average for the majority of the season. But they've been, well, bang average isn't probably the words, probably just slightly over average. When you look how good Leicester were and then you drop it and you come to some sort of average, they've been just above average. And then when you look at United's start, middle and end and you get some average, they're just above average. So to say, like, you know, people are afraid of United and that they're back to challenge, I think it's a bit of a stretch. Now, I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but I think it's a bit of a stretch. But we're both going for Chelsea and United in the top 4. Yeah?
Me, definitely.
Yeah, Keith? Chelsea and United make the top 4?
United definitely will get third. I think Chelsea will hold on, and I think Wolves, I think Leicester sink. I don't see them getting anything because they play Sheffield United next, but they're without Soyuncu and they're going to bring in Wes Morgan probably. I think they could struggle to get another point.
LF says City verdict tomorrow will be big in terms of the top 4 or 5. Just a quick thing on that. Grizz, before we get to the relegation zone, the verdict is due out tomorrow. We've seen mixed signals from, it's fair to say, journalists with City boys saying that they feel that they'll get off completely. We've seen some other journalists that might be anti-City in some way saying, no, it's definitely getting to 2 years. Look, I can tell you, we've done 2 shows, Grizz, this week, and on one of them, it was City are getting to 2 years. That's the rumour. And the next day when we done a show, it was City are getting completely off, and you have to judge it on the journalist you're watching. But Grizz, the decision is due out tomorrow. What do you feel the decision will be?
If they get completely let off with this, right, after
the game's over, isn't it?
Yeah. It's what you do. I mean, there's no credibility left, is there? There's nothing credibility left for the lads in the offices. It will be the most bogus, the most bogus thing ever. And it wouldn't surprise me. I'm not going to sit here and say, wow, did they get let off? We know these things happen. The majority of people thought that it's going to be sort of just reduced to 1 season. I'm still sticking with that. I think it'll just be 1 season. But nothing would surprise me, Gav. Nothing would surprise me. Okay.
Keith, where do you see this?
I mean, I'm of the opinion that it'll be 1 season. I think to totally exonerate them, it's the death knell for UEFA. It's the death knell for FFP. It's the death knell for soccer, and I'm not saying that as in, the poor Liverpool, this poor Liverpool. I would not want Liverpool to be bought out by an Arab state, let's say, for the oil money, the Qatar, Dubai, these sort of Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, all this sort of thing. You have to think maybe, if the game goes that way, you don't want to be left behind, but that's what it's going to open up. It's going to open up unlimited spending, and the game coaching will be gone. It'll just be fantasy football. It'll be FIFA Ultimate Team. Do you know what I mean? And that's the opposite of what I love about Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? Is that he's coaching them. He's getting them out there and he's coaching them to be excellent. This just throw money at it. I don't know. I think it'll kill football. If they get exonerated, I think it kills football.
Well, Chris Brack says if CAS Open uphold the ban, I think UEFA go after PSG again. If City don't get let off with this, there will be further ramifications via the Premier League, right? Now, Kev O'Sullivan says if they get off with this, you can watch them sell the naming rights to their training ground for £1 billion. Yeah. It's money laundering in full view. Yeah. And the big thing for me, and I've seen, there's somebody in here, and I can't remember who it is, so I apologise, but they always mention the fact that this decision will basically push a European Super League even closer. And the reason being is that if clubs see that UEFA are just hot air, they will literally break away and go, listen, we're forming our own league, top 20 clubs in Europe, we're going to play each other every fucking week, and we're going to spend whatever we want, and the naming rights and the TV rights will go through the roof, and we leave UEFA behind. I think that's a real possibility. The big thing that sticks out for me in this is, it's not the right or wrong, it's City's argument that the evidence against us was collected incorrectly. Yeah. So they're not even arguing if they done right or wrong. But you done it wrong. You got it in a wrong way, which is absolutely unbelievable. I think they get off of it.
Fully exonerated.
I'm going to be honest. Yeah, I think they completely get off of it.
Are you basing that on the fact that the confidence coming out of the City sort of media?
No. I think I have a feeling. I think their argument will work. I genuinely believe that. Now,
up in legal tape.
Well, it's very hard when it gets to Cass. Cass is usually that's the decision and you're done. But if it was a case of keep going on to higher courts, yes, City are probably richer than UEFA, and they could do something along them lines. But it's, for me, I just feel that their argument may work. It's a bit like, recording somebody for evidence when you're not allowed to. That kind of way, and it's not admissible in court. And I think that's the route City have gone down, and I think it may work for them. Having said that, I've seen people say, well, if City get banned, they'll only play once a week and they'll target the Premier League. It doesn't really matter. I don't go along with that. I think teams get driven on by what they're in, like Liverpool did last season with the Champions League and the league. I think if Liverpool were still in the Champions League now, they would have got 100 and odd points because they wouldn't have dropped the level whatsoever. Yeah. I think playing once a week can be a little bit boring, so I wouldn't be looking at it from that point of view. Sorry, it's Avo that says about the European Super League. He said it was me, Gav. UEFA will be laughed at and no respect from by the big boys. I think he's, and I've seen that comment come up, and I've kind of left it for a while, Avo, but I think this is probably the right time. But we'll move away from it. We'll see what happens on tomorrow. The club is being recorded tomorrow night, so there will be a reaction to that. I think the lads are back in the studio on their social distancing and stuff, so we'll have a pod from the studio tomorrow. The bottom of the table, Grizz, before we're going to go on for another 10 minutes or so, but the bottom of the table, Grizz, where do you see it happening? Because I still think those three in the bottom are gone, although they've both won this weekend.
Yeah, I think they are gone, but they've made it sort of last. They've given themselves such a ever so slight lifeline, haven't they? I mean, the Bournemouth result was just crazy. Absolute crazy mayhem. But I can't see them getting out of it. I think it's just a combination of Leicester City's shitness and just pure carnage the way that result happened. The Aston Villa was a good result, wasn't it? The Aston Villa played, that was a very good result for them. Palace are a very good away team normally. But I think they stay as they are. I genuinely hope, genuinely pray Watford and West Ham get further dragged down, but I think both teams have got decent.
Well, they're playing each other. They're playing each other next. Watford and West Ham. They play each other next. Yeah.
Tasty.
And the hope I have is for West Ham to get dragged into it. And West Ham have their last three fixtures is Watford, and then it's Man U away, and then it's Villa on the final day. Now, that's it. If they don't get what they need against Watford, and West Ham have been decent lately, I'm not trying to say that, but when you've got two relegation dogfights there, and then you've got the form team in United, there's a possibility they don't get in, and if they don't, and the other teams get it, it drags them right in. But yeah, look, I think if I was to have to bet my life on it now, I'd say the bottom three are the bottom three.
Okay. Grizz, are you staying with that bottom three?
I'm staying with that bottom three as well, yeah. I'd have to agree with that, yeah.
Okay. Right, yeah, that's we're getting there. We're nearly there, lads. Jack Charlton. I just wanted to say a quick word on Jack Charlton. He passed away on Friday at the age of 85. Of course, Leeds United legend. He managed, I think, Middlesbrough and Sheffield Wednesday. But for us, he was the Ireland manager from 1986 till 1996. What a bloke. He literally gave us some of the best days of our lives, and I mean that when I say that. He takes over in 86 in Ireland when Ireland's upside down, and he literally takes a country and just picks it up and runs with it for 10 years. And like, people of a certain age will appreciate what that man done for this country. An adored Englishman in Ireland is a very rare thing, but he is most definitely one of those. So we just want to pass our condolences on to everyone in the Charlton family, and thank him and them for the memories over those brilliant 10 years. Lads, I have a random question before we finish out with our song, and the random question is this. Very simple. I'm going to give you a Liverpool 11, and the Liverpool 11 is Alisson, Trent, Gomez, Van Dijk, Robertson, Fabinho, Keita, Henderson, and the front three. You have to take one of those players out, but you're allowed to sign two players from the bottom three as it currently stands. Who are you taking out and who are you replacing them with? Grizz is struggling. So, Keith, I'm going to come to you first.
So we're taking out one and putting in another one from the bottom three.
I'm taking one player out of that Liverpool 11. He's gone. He's out.
So
out
then
the
the two of them don't sort of join up.
No. You can take one player out, and then I want you to sign two players to complement Liverpool's squad, but you have to be from the current bottom three.
Okay. Is Wijnaldum in this team now?
No.
It's Naby, is it? Right, Naby. Yeah. Naby's gone.
Right, Naby out. And who are you bringing in?
I'm bringing in... Does it have to be a straight swap now, a midfield player, or can it be...
No, you have two players. You can bring two players in from the bottom three.
I would bring in from the bottom three, I would bring in... Norwich. Villa. I'd bring in Todd Cantwell and I'd bring in Nathan Ake.
Okay, cool. Grizz, who are you bringing in? Who are you getting rid of?
Well, we're taking Naby lad.
Naby lad's out. Okay, can't believe there's going to be murder over this. Go on.
Well, it's a tough one, but someone's going to make these decisions, and I'm the man for these tough decisions. I don't give a shit. So Naby lad goes out, and in comes to enhance our squad.
Billing.
And who's coming? Jamal Lewis of Norwich City to give Robo some backup, and I'll take Bendu. Go on, say it, Keith. Yeah, him. I'll take him from Norwich. I'm not a Cantwell fan. Well, Grealish. Hold on. Grealish or Benduia. You know what? I'd go Grealish.
Okay. Good
Grealish
stuff.
and Jamal Lewis.
I just thought I'd mix it up a bit there for you tonight. We try to keep a random question on the Fatback 4. Yeah, we try keep a random question in. Sometimes it's football, sometimes it's what's your favourite fucking biscuit. But we'll have to wait and see. David Walsh will bring in Brooks and Cantwell. Let me see. Lovren out, Mings in. Well, Lovren's not included. Stephen O'Connor. That's why we went there. Let me see. Jamal Lewis. But he reckons he's rubbish, says Kevin Sullivan. Ake for Gomez and also bring in Brooks, says Umar Patel. That's all right. Let me see. Chris Brax asks, who are mine? Yeah, I'm getting rid of Kate as well. I think overall, he's a brilliant player if he shows up. But I think on current thing,
it's the easy one to take out.
Well, he's the one that has improved himself as much as Liverpool as the rest of them. And out of that, I will be bringing in Grealish, and I will be bringing in not Jamal Lewis. Who's the other fella at?
Max Aarons.
Oh no! I'll tell you what I'm bringing in. Do you know the guy at right back for? No, the guy at right back for Bournemouth is a Cook.
No, Cook's a centre back.
No, there's another fella at right back. Oh, what's his name?
Whoever he is.
He's not. He's really good. He can play right or left back. Someone will know his name and tell me at some stage.
Smith, is it?
Adam Smith. That's him. That's him. Adam Smith and Grealish, please. That'll do. Cover a fullback and a replacement for Kate.
I hope you get slaughtered in the comments for that.
No, well, people are just naming him for me. They haven't given. I think he's a great show. I think he's made too much of all these.
That's on billing levels, and that is fucking on billing levels.
Yeah, well, you've committed to billings, and you'll never get away with it. Right, listen, we're gone an hour and 5 minutes. It's time for the performance of the year. We passed 2,000 subscribers, and you can say what you want about Grizz Khan, but he is nothing but game. And he said, when you pass 2,000 subscribers, I will sing the fairy tale in New York. Keith lashed in and went, I can play it on tin whistle. I said, great. It just means I sit back, relax, and listen.
Which is slightly unfair.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't put myself forward, but we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see what we'll do after 3,000 subscribers. We will get to 3,000 subscribers at some stage, I hope. But without further ado,
before we get further ado, I didn't say I can play it on the tin whistle. I said I'd learn it on the tin whistle.
Yeah, and you've learned it.
And another part 2 of disclaimer here is me and Grizz have discussed this, and we're only doing a segment of the song, so we're not doing the full.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
just
fine.
so that the people aren't upset with this.
Yeah, no, that's
Beggars,
fine.
hey, listen, beggars can't be choosers, Keith. Don't you be worrying about that. We do what we got to do, mate.
Yeah. Well, like, yous are putting in like a musical performance here. People only just have to hit like and subscribe, don't they? Really? So, I think it's a fair old. I think it's a fair old trade off to you.
Yeah, this could be carnage. But listen, Keith, we'll give it our best shots.
Right. Listen, that has been the Fatback 4 podcast for Sunday night. We've got through loads. The club is back tomorrow. I do have a schedule for this week, but I've lost it. But we will be with you Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday night this week on top of the club, as I said, which is recorded tomorrow night. So without further ado, this is Keith Plunkett playing the tin whistle while Grizz Can sings Fairy Tale in New York, also known as The Bells Are Ringing.
Are you ready, Grizz?
No. But let's go.
Right.
Go, but the wind goes right through you. It's no place for the old. When you first took my hand on a cold Christmas Eve, you promised me Broadway was waiting for me. You were handsome, you were pretty.
Do you want to
Queen
keep
of
going,
New
Grizz?
York City. Go on.
Go on, we're nearly there.
Right. You're not singing this, Grizz, now?
Which
Sinatra
part
was
are you at?
swinging. Sinatra was swinging.
Wait, stop.
Oh, stop, Keith. You're at Sinatra was swinging.
I wasn't given these ones. These lines.
What? You weren't given them?
Do you know
I
what?
want to show
Grizz?
these lines. Got it. I got it. Yeah.
Yeah, go.
Sinatra was singing.
Go.
Go. Sinatra was singing.
Go.
Yeah.
Go. Yeah.
Give it a push. Was singing. All the drunks they were singing. In the corner, they danced through the night.
Right, hold on.
That'll do. Macro says, "Sweet Jesus, the dog is howling here."
What more do you want?
No, I thought you was brilliant. It was me. My timing was off.
Matt Sweeney says, "Grafton Street awake, lads. Is a
it does.
clean up. Chris has the voice of an angle." I presume you mean saying chill.
No, I presume he means angle.
So do I. I was just trying to be nice.
I didn't even get to my favourite part.
Yeah, well, listen, you can
no.
sing it to you can sing it to yourself when
I'm
we're
making
finished, right?
in all sorts of these apartments now playing a tin whistle at this hour of the night.
Everyone thinks
listen,
Keith's a
you done-
weirdo.
you
You've done fantastic. You've done fantastic. But look, there's no way you're getting, first of all, the football talk you get here. You're not getting the interaction with people that you get here, and you're definitely not getting that sort of shit at the end of the podcast. I don't care where you go to find it. You are not getting it anywhere else. That's been the Fatback 4. What an ending. What an absolute ending. Be good. Over and out.